Good morning. Before starting our little road trip to Guelph, we started our day in Hamilton. There happened to be a community garage sale event, so we walked around hunting for some treasure. It was a beautiful sunny day and everyone was so friendly, waving and smiling, saying good morning. You really felt the charm of a small town vibe. I've been trying to be cautious of my spending, so I'm pleased to report I only spent $2 buying 2 books, Beloved by Toni Morrison and Notes from the Underground by Dostoevsky. After about a 30-minute drive, we stopped by Freelton to check out this large thrift store called Rescued and Restored. There were so many great large furniture pieces and very fair prices. I was really excited to look around. Behind the thrift store is an antique mall. We didn't buy anything, but it's always fun to just browse around.
Come on, soft, turn the key and cool off.
Once we arrived in Guelph, we stopped at the Red Brick Cafe for our morning coffee and breakfast. When I was looking at places to visit, this cafe stood out to me because of its historic facade. Just looks so beautiful. And the atmosphere seemed really cozy with a good, simple menu, and it was just what we needed. It looks like they host live shows here, and they have a lot of patio seating in the back. It's a really nice atmosphere here. I think if I lived here, I'd be coming here all the time.
I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone, and be the cat in the sun.
We just finished at the cafe and it's so cute inside. It's like a historic building, and there's a lot of historic buildings out here too. And then across the street there's selling butter tarts, and we just ate one and it was so delicious. Like the pastry was really good. But yeah, we're gonna go head out and explore some of the bookshops and local shops here.
Quando o sol se pôs, pensei em nós dois. Foi a alma que morreu. Tudo escureceu, bem ao meio-dia. Foi no
There were 3 bookstores I wanted to visit: the Bookshelf, Janus Books, and Sunrise Books. We only had time to visit the first 2, but I'm really curious about Sunrise Books. It looks like it would have a great collection as well.
Mas quando eu olho nos olhos, é tudo bem diferente. A boca fala, mas o coração não mente. O amor é uma teoria explicada por gente. Não parece nem pouco.
We just got home. The last stop in Guelph we had was at the cheese shop, and we bought some cheese that we like. It's called Wildwood Gruyere, and my husband really likes blue cheese. So yeah, we bought some, and tonight for dinner we're gonna have what my husband calls girl dinner. We're just gonna have some cheese and crackers and a little wine. But yeah, it's actually really cute. We were chatting with the shop owner there, and she asked what we were doing in town and stuff, and I just told her how after visiting family in Hamilton, we were visiting Guelph, and she recommended a few places to visit, and like Rug and Weave and the bookshop with the cinema. And I was like, oh, I already went there. And I was like, oh, good thing. It looks like I went to the right places. But yeah, it's really nice always visiting like small towns, because I feel like everyone's more friendly and a lot more chatty, and you have a lot more of just these really light conversations, which just kind of makes your day really nice. But yeah, we're home now, and the exhaustion of the weekend just hit me. We did a lot of spring cleaning yesterday. I was helping them with that. and just a lot of driving and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to just winding down for the evening. Hello, I have some reading updates. I finished reading Chess by Stefan Zweig. So this was my second time reading Stefan Zweig. The first book that I read from him was Beware of Pity, which I really loved. And I read it about a year ago. Anyway, similar to Beware of Pity, Chess has a sort of slow start. And honestly, the beginning is like a little slow and a little boring, and you think you know where it's going, but it suddenly turns into this very feverish and gripping tale that you just can't look away from. For both of these books, I really loved going into it not knowing anything about it, because not knowing where it's going just really keeps you at the edge of your seat, and I think makes the story so much more enjoyable to read. I also really appreciate how he uses history to give context and depth to the story and to the characters, and I feel like it brings a lot of nuance to the story and characters. I found myself laughing at some points and holding my breath at others, and I just feel like Stefan Zweig is such a great storyteller. So yeah, if you haven't read Stefan Zweig yet, I think either one of these is a great start. Beware of Pity is a pretty thick book, so if you're a little intimidated by that, I think you can start with Chess, and it's a very short and quick read, but still carries that same sort of intensity of his storytelling, which I think is, I mean, I've only read 2 of his books, but to me, it's what really appeals to me about his writing, and I can't wait to read more of his books. The other book I read recently was The Dream of a Ridiculous Man by Dostoevsky. This particular book is a combination of 4 short stories by Dostoevsky, and they all have a sort of dark and unsettling tone to them. But the one that stayed with me the most is The Namesake, which is The Dream of a Ridiculous Man. It's the first story that starts out of the 4. And I looked up a few reviews online, and a lot of people say this is one of his like underrated stories. And they also described it as like a story of hope. But I actually found it to be more of a sad and bleak story and reflection on society and the nature of man. But basically, there's a man who dreams of a better world, of a world of peace and true happiness and purity. But it's because this man thinks of this world, thinks that this heaven on earth is possible, that makes him the ridiculous man. He is the ridiculous man because that dream of his is impossible to achieve. So Dostoevsky calls him, and he himself refers to himself as the ridiculous man because he knows that it's not possible, and he sort of becomes this madman. And I think that's what makes it such a sad and bleak story. But despite that, I think it is a really interesting work of literature. Like, the writing really makes you think and contemplate, even in such a short amount of pages. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Millie. I think Millie liked it too. She just wants some petsies. Millie's been shedding lately, I guess because it's change in season, so she's shedding a lot. So whenever I pet her, there's just all this fur that comes out. Um, but yeah, it's been about a week since our Guelph little road trip, and I wanted to spend today just journaling. It's Sunday, and tomorrow's Monday, so I have work. Yesterday, I spent all day doing a bunch of chores and errands and stuff. We did grocery shopping, and I meal prepped a bunch of food, just some lunches and some dinners. And I also did some deep cleaning of our kitchen and our bathroom. I actually ended up sleeping in this morning until like 8 o'clock, which is very unusual for me because I tend to wake up really early. For work, I usually wake up at like 5 a.m. So my body naturally wakes up pretty early on the weekends as well. But I was just so tired from all of that deep cleaning yesterday. I slept in, my body just feels so exhausted. Anyways, all that to say, today I do want to journal and enjoy some quiet and peaceful time.